What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's a great day here, and it's a great day here for Cambodia, I should say. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But of course, as always, I want to say thank you for watching. Check out all my links down below. If you want to receive weekly exclusive videos, copies of my books and other things sent right to your email, then all you have to do is consider donating. I got links down below for PayPal, Ko-Fi.com, or you can join my Patreon. All of that is very much appreciated. And if you want to help support the channel, I will give you things in return. And hopefully you will enjoy them. Also down below is a link to my other channel, Horror Reads. If you like horror books, every 2 or 3 days I post a new video on there with the latest horror book that I have read. I like to review them, I like to discuss them, and if you like the same thing, go ahead. My last one I did, it was a great book. It was called The 5 Turns of the Wheel, a folk horror book. I really liked it. Hear my thoughts about that at the link down below. And don't forget about other channels vlogging from this part of the world. They are also down below. So be sure to check all those out. You get different views, different perspectives, and all that good stuff. All right, let's get on with the video. Alright, so the big news is, of course, the announcement from Cambodia that they are now officially COVID-free. And I'll explain what that means in a few minutes. It might not be what you think it means. But for the past 31 days, they've recorded no new cases of COVID from PCR tests. And finally, the last remaining person that had Cambodia, or had COVID in Cambodia, has now been recovered, which means Cambodia can be considered a COVID-0 country. It's something they've been waiting for a long time, and I think 31 days without a recorded case is really good. But that doesn't mean there is no COVID in Cambodia, of course. COVID doesn't know boundaries, it doesn't know borders or anything like that. What has happened was, because there are no required tests now for fully vaccinated tourists and visitors, and right now there's only 2 groups of people that are getting tests. Those that volunteer, they think they might have COVID and go in for a test, or migrant workers that go back and forth across the borders into Thailand to work and come back. Those people are still required to have PCR tests going in and coming back from Thailand. So there's no widespread testing as there was during the worst of the pandemic. But out of the testing they actually do, they're COVID-0. Nobody has tested positive in 31 days, and nobody has come down with any new cases of COVID in the last 31 days. So very good news indeed. And it's a good time to be here. Of course, the reason for that is very simple. There are about 16 million people in Cambodia. If you think about it, that's not a lot. But 16 million people, and at least 15 million have had at least their first vaccine. Another 13 to 14 million have been fully vaccinated with at least 2 vaccines. And 10 to 11 million, they figure somewhere in there, have had at least 1 booster shot in addition to their 2 original vaccines. And there's also enough people that have received their 4th vaccine, the 2nd booster, and they're thinking about coming out with a 5th. And when you get that many people who are willing to follow the science and say, hey, this could be a good way to stop the spread, or at least help slow the spread, and then they do it, good things like this happen. People keep asking me when they're going to lift any restrictions for everybody, including non-vaccinated, and that's probably still not going to happen. Maybe not ever, as far as I know. I mean, it might. But the government is still adamant that despite receiving a COVID-0 status, that COVID is still going to be an issue. It's going to be around for a very long time, probably for the rest of our lives, if you're watching this video. And there's still precautions and certain things to consider, so that we can stay this way and not have to worry about starting back at day 1 again. So yeah, I don't foresee any time in the foreseeable future. I don't see a time when they're going to allow unvaccinated people to come in without a test and without a quarantine or anything like that. But if they do, of course, I will let you guys know as soon as I find out anything official. Because that's just my guess, and I don't know everything. So, there you go. If they do come to that point, I will let you guys know. Of course, along with any other regulation or rule changes Cambodia has to offer in the coming days, weeks, and months. Cambodia is also cracking down, at least in Siem Reap, on illegal pharmacies and fake drugs that they sell. A lot of pharmacies here in town, and most of them, or at least a lot of them, are very legitimate. You go in there for a certain type of prescription medication, and you'll get that prescription medication. But there are some who A, are not registered, so they're not legal. They just set up shop, throw out a banner, and B, the drug you think you're getting might not be the one you receive, which of course is very dangerous, could cause complications, and or at the very least not take care of the symptoms you're getting that medication for. It's mostly locals and people in poverty that are keeping these places going because they're significantly cheaper than regular pharmacy. But considering that it's not the it's not the medicine they want, it's not really helping, no matter how little they spend. But the government's cracking down on that, going to all the pharmacies they see, checking their licenses, examining some of the medications, making sure that what it says is in the bottle is actually in the bottle. And that will make people feel a little safer, I think. And also, one thing I've noticed a trend in news stories over the past week or so has been out in the wilderness, out in nature, out in the jungle. It seems like almost every day they have pictures set up from cameras along in some of these areas, capturing animals that were either thought to be non-existent already in this part of the world, or very, very rare, maybe almost to the point of extinction. And I get excited about that whenever they find a species, maybe not a new species, but a species that was once thought to have been extinct in this part of the world, and then they see 3 or 4 of them in a herd roaming through the jungle. That gets me kind of excited. And I noticed that that's happened a lot when I read the news here in the last week. To me, it's exciting because that means their efforts on trying to stop poaching on these protected reserves and lands over here are actually working. Also, and this seems to be a problem in Phnom Penh. You don't hear so much about it in Siem Reap. But there's been an uptick, a rise in purse snatchings and motorcycle thefts in Phnom Penh, to the point where the government has addressed it and assured the citizens there that they are sending out extra police forces in areas where these are taking place mostly, and that there's a special I can't remember if it's a phone number or if it's an app, but if you see something like that taking place, you can notify the authorities and report it to them, let them take care of it. Well, like I said, this does seem to be taking place more in Phnom Penh than Siem Reap. But it's been a widespread enough uptick in these kinds of crimes to warrant them making an official statement about it. So if you're going to be over there in that part of Cambodia, just be careful. Don't take anything with you that you can afford to lose if you're just walking about. And as always, keep your money at the minimum. How much do you need for where you're going? Take that much. Certainly don't be carrying around your physical passport or anything really expensive or big wads of cash. Now, that being said, overall Cambodia is still one of the safest countries in the world. Crimes against foreigners are very rare. They do happen though. Well, for the most part, this is a local on local crime. But still, just as a precaution, if you're going to be visiting, just be safe about it. And well, that's really about it, I guess. Not much more going on. It's been kind of a quiet week. I've been finishing up what I need to do to get my book out there to you guys. And like I said, if you're a supporter, you'll get it. You get it here really soon. Be checking your emails. It's a coming. It's just finishing up the final editing and proofreading. And you guys will get it first. Then a couple days after I send it to my supporters, I will put the live link where everybody else can purchase it on the website I'm going to sell it from. So be sure to look for that as well. Alright, I hope everybody stays safe. Like I said, there wasn't much happening, but I thought I'd come out and make a video to let you know I'm still alive. It's been a week, I know. But I try to use that time wisely. Getting some projects done. Not just my book. I got other things coming up after that releases, after that's all done, that will be of interest to you guys, even if the book isn't. So stay tuned to the channel to find out more. And of course, any breaking news, I'll let you guys know as soon as I can confirm it. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not. And I will talk to you in the next one.